Mech Islet is just around the corner, and today I wanted to show you guys my theories and ideas for this brand new island. However, I'm not doing this video by myself. From this point onwards, things are gonna change around here. So I recently decided to get into voice acting, so I thought, why not incorporate that to this channel? And I thought, why don't I just create my own custom characters for this channel? So I'm gonna do this video with one of my own custom characters. Introducing Harold. Harold? Harold? Where? Not again.
This is very good.
Dude, how many times do I gotta tell you, laid off that cotton candy? You're gonna have diabetes by the time you turn 25. Anyway, this is Harold. He's going to be one of my many characters I'm going to introduce to this channel. Now, I know what you might be thinking, you don't know much about him right now, but surely later on down the line, you will learn more about Harold. But right now, he's just going to be here to help me do this video. On top of that, here's how it's going to work with my characters. We're not always going to do videos with each other. Sometimes we'll do separate videos with each other. I've got a couple in the making that I'm doing by myself. Going forward for right now, Harold's gonna be on the channel. And yeah, let's start this thing. You ready, Harold?
Ready to ever be.
And he's still got cotton candy in his jaws. Okay, let's just get this video started. First, let's talk about Disharmonization, a mechanic introduced on Plasma Islet, and going forward will be on all islets. Now, I know a lot of people already know how this mechanic works, but I figured I would give a refresher to others who don't remember how it works, or the new people that are watching.
Here is the Disharmonizer's menu. On the left side, it'll display all the monsters that you have on the islet.
And on the right, you can see how many memes you have available in the Disharmonizer.
The process itself is pretty simple and self-explanatory. When you place a monster in the Disharmonizer, the memes inside it will separate the monsters into the respective meme elements.
Now, I don't know the specific numbers for it, but when you have a higher level monster being disharmonized, it'll give you back more memes than it would normally at level 1.
Once the monster has been disharmonized, the Disharmonizer will then take the memes that you got from the process and randomly reattune them to a different ethereal monster.
And if you don't have the required memes for a certain monster, you have to keep disharmonizing monsters until you get the required memes for it.
And the monsters you get from disharmonizing are randomly chosen, so if you don't get the monster you want, oh well, you gotta keep disharmonizing until you get it.
Additionally, the Disharmonizer also has some other features to it. First are the elements. There will always be 4 monsters on the islet that have an element that the respective quad of the islet does not have. For example, on Plasma Islet, Jillbilly, Flask, Ogler, and Blairet all have the poison element, which Whale does not.
Don't worry, the Disharmonizer does make up for this though. Once Disharmonization is complete, the Disharmonizer will have a random chance of taking one of each other meme besides the meme that the island has a greater affinity to, and combining them together to get that missing elemental meme.
Like the monsters you get after Disharmonization, this is a random chance, and you just have to keep disharmonizing until you get this missing element.
Remember how I said you can't choose what monster you get after Disharmonization? Well, there's a feature that actually makes it a lot easier.
That being the wish function. This function is unlocked when you get 1 quad, 1 triple, 1 double, and 1 single elemental monster on this island. The way this function works is that you select either a double or a triple, and what it does is that, like, after a couple of times of disharmonizing, it'll give you an increased percentage of getting monster. Now, it's not going to be guaranteed, but once that percentage reaches 100%, your next Disharmonization will guarantee you that monster.
And you can also unlock the Primordial monster, a monster that will be exclusive to the islets. These are based off the prototype ethereals. Now, the way it works is that you need to have every other monster on the islet before you can obtain it. And once you do, the quad of the island will have a chance of becoming this monster when disharmonized. But you need to have 5 of each meme for this to happen. It is very low for you to get it out of a single, double, or triple, but it is possible. Just make sure you keep disharmonizing and hopefully pray to God that you get this monster, because it's gonna take a while.
Now, the whole process of disharmonization is not going to change, as it's going to stay the same for every single islet. However, there is one thing that is going to change. Depending on the islet's greatest affinity to one of the ethereal elements, we will have infinite amount of memes of this element. This means that on Mech Islet, we will have an infinite amount of Mech memes.
Additionally, visualize the plasma memes on top of the dish harmonizer will become mech memes to signify the infinite amount of mech memes on Mech Islet.
Now let's go over the only teaser we got that teased this islet.
At the end of the official Creator Month kickoff video, we got a small teaser towards Mech Islet.
It is pretty blurry, but you can make out that it's Vention looking at that device it made during the last summer song trailer.
Now, the device says something and it's very hard to make out, but if you look at it and pay attention to it enough, you'll realize it says warp.
The machine also says 621, which is barely hard to make out. I actually had to look at some comments from other people talking about this teaser because I didn't know that. But this implies that Mech Islet's trailer will come out on the 21st of June. And then the islet will release on the following Wednesday after the trailer, which is the 25th. Now let's go over this islet's roster of monsters.
Like Plasma Islet, this island will have all the monsters that share the mech element, excluding Rhythmus, Bamebith, and Oogity. And these monsters are...
Rebro,
Nebulob,
Araculele,
Hello Fish,
Dragong,
Eurik,
Gadzooks,
Ogler,
Nightbear,
Clash,
Tater Totter,
and Jin.
and the Air Primordial. And after looking at this roster over, I just realized unless the Air Primordial is a vocalist, this island does not have that many vocals. So that means the song is going to be very heavy instrumental. But before we talk about the Primordial, let's talk about the islet's design.
Like Plasma Islet, Mech Islet will have its design based on the affinity of its ethereal element. This means the island's gonna be mechanical-like.
Additionally, this islet has to have some cool lore behind it. Like, pretty much every ethereal-related thing has some cool lore behind it. Plasma Islet, it was no different. It explains how the islets came to be. So, I want to read about how this islet even came to be.
And we've got the perfect fan-made design for you guys to look at.
Here we have Rowl's Mech Islet design. Please go check out Rowl's in the description. Rowl's is such an amazing artist. I love everything on their channel. It's ooh, so amazing. And this design is what me and Harold were thinking about for this islet.
It's very simple in design. The islands don't have to be extravagant. They just have to look like the element they're supposed to represent.
This islet design is very good. Its hand is holding a giant gear, there are parts floating around it, they signify that Mech has a connection to air, and even the obstacles give like that mechanical feeling. I love the way the dish harmonizer sits on this island. It sits on another gear, which I think is cool. I'm pretty sure the gear is on another finger, but it's whatever. This design is perfect. Now let's talk about the primordial of this islet, who it will be and what we can expect from it. Unfortunately, I was kind of saving this section to say this, but I unfortunately have some bad news.
What? What do you mean bad news? What do you mean? What is this bad news? Tell me right now, please. I want to know.
Calm down, I'll explain in a minute, but right now, let's just talk about the primordial. As you may know, the primordials are the prototype monsters that can be found on Ethereal Island's Life Formula skin and the Dawn of Fire Diamond packs in the resource shop. And the 4 remaining prototype monsters we have are Vandal, Bro,
And Jennifer.
Now, we don't have much information about the Primordial, so it's hard to determine who is going to be the Mech Islet's Primordial, but there's a simple way we can do this. Process of elimination. Basically, we're gonna go based off design and general vibes of these monsters, so to determine who will be the Mech Islet's Primordial.
The first monster we're eliminating is Bogle, as it has an octopus-like appearance, which basically signifies that it has more of a connection to water, basically confirming that it'll be Crystal Islet's Primordial. Next is Droll. Because it has more of a plant-like appearance, and since there's no plant on Air Island, it doesn't really make any sense for this monster to be on this island. Honestly, with its appearance, I think it most likely would be on Shadow Island more. That leaves us with Vandal and Tuneful. This could go either way with each of them, but there is one more thing that we can use to help us narrow it down.
That would be Toon 4's design. Honestly, Toon 4 looks a lot like Tort, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were related in some way or have some sort of connection with each other. And since Tort is the Earth Celestial, that would most likely mean Toon 4 would be the Earth Primordial. So it's out.
Which that only leaves us with Fandle, which honestly makes the most sense for the Air Primordial, as I could see this thing could be mechanical. Like, yes, I know the Primordials have to be like close to the original element, but like, it could be mechanical and can incorporate air in its sound. I don't know, maybe its hands can like produce steam or something, but all I'm just saying is it makes the most sense.
Alright, it's time for the bad news.
Yes, the bad news. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I'm dying to hear it.
The bad news is unfortunately, like Harry and Mech, the Apple Store accidentally posted the promotional material for Mech Islet way too early, and I accidentally saw it.
What? You saw it? Wait, what did it look like? What is the Primordial? I have so many questions. Ah!
Yes, unfortunately, I do know what the islet looks like, and I'm not gonna say much because I don't want to spoil it for you, Harold, and you guys watching at home. But all I will say is that it's a very good design. It's honestly way better than anybody could ever predict it. And also, the Primordial is gonna come up as a shock for the most people who haven't seen the spoilers, but it's not who we think it is. But in this video, instead of me just saying it, we're gonna figure it out together because there are two ways that actually give us a hint at who this Primordial is. The first actually comes from a clip from the My Singing Monsters live. I couldn't find this clip, so I actually had to pull it from another video. Shout out to MSM Flutter for this, because I wouldn't have never been able to find this clip. In fact, I don't even remember them saying it. But this is what they said in this clip.
And I would caution folks, because I know that they've already started theorizing about it since Saturday. Maybe you're in for a surprise. Maybe things won't actually go through the way that you're expecting. So,
What the hell? I'm confused.
I know it's confusing, but let me help you out here. As you all may know, the monster handlers can be very unpredictable at times. They've added stuff into the game they said were never gonna come, such as the triples, quad ethereals, and epic wubbox. So basically, this clip is saying that the Primordials are gonna be a little bit of a surprise this time around. Instead of being on an islet that makes the most sense for them based on just design, since we don't have no lore to go off of them, they're gonna be on islets that nobody's going to expect. So basically, this time around, to determine the Primordial of this island, we have to go on based on who is most likely to not be the Mech Islet Primordial.
The first monster we're eliminating is Bogle, as it has an octopus-like appearance, which basically signifies that it has more of a connection to water. Basically confirming that it'll be Crystal Islet's Primordial. Easy! Bogle and Droll!
You would be correct, my good sir. Now, all we have to do is just narrow it down between these two. And although there might not be anything else that can help us, there's actually one more thing that can. But first, I do gotta shout out the Snowmander11. Without this guy, I wouldn't have been able to find this information. Thank you, Snowmander11, for this post and information. So the information provided is actually a Department of Monster Anomalies report from the Doma website, which I completely forgot even existed. I haven't even been on it once. I don't keep up with Doma. At first, on the first page, it's just talking about food and whatnot. It's not really interesting, but the second page is what's gonna give us this juicy information. And on the second part of the doc is an octopus, which may not seem like much, but remember, Doma teases things, and usually things that doesn't seem like they would mean anything has great significance. And since there's an octopus on here, there's only one monster that this could be hinted to.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that Mech Islet Primordial is Bogle?
Yes, Harold, I am just as shocked as you. In fact, Bogle was even on the leak for Mech Islet, and I was like, why is this the Mech Islet's Primordial? There's no way in hell.
But wait, what about the other three?
I don't know for certain, but I think I got a pretty good idea on how they're gonna release. I'm not the first person to come up with this theory, so keep that in mind, but essentially what other people were saying and what I was thinking is that the Primordials were going to be released in the order that they were shown in the Dawn of Fire resource shop. And in the Dawn of Fire resource shop, they're ordered Loeb, Fandle, Bogle, Droll, and Toonfor. And a lot of people speculate that they're following the order of the natural islands, so that would mean Loeb would be plant, Fandle would be cold, Bogle would be air, Droll would be water, and Toonfor would be earth.
I mean, I guess that would make sense, but like, still, I don't really think this should be the order of the primordials.
And finally, the last thing we gotta talk about is the full song. Now, we don't have much information on this island, and also we didn't get really any teasers for the full song. We have to wait until the trailer drops for it. But if you want a prediction, I recommend Polus MSM's song. It's actually really good. Yes, I know it has Fandle as the primordial, but this was way before Bogle was teased to be the primordial. So go check him out. And that, my friends, concludes this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video.
Let us know what you guys think about our predictions, and also leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.
I'm sorry if I hadn't uploaded anything in a while. I've just been so busy. I know I did upload a Dark Deception video a couple of days back. I'm so sorry for not uploading any more MSM content. I've just been so busy, but now that summer's coming, until college, I'll be able to upload pretty much almost every day. That is, if it doesn't take me a week to finish a video. But also, let me know what you guys think of Harold, if you guys want to see him more in other videos.
Oh, trust me, they're gonna like it. I'm handsome!
Yeah, I don't know about that, Harold. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!
Bye-bye!